Tuesday, June 24th. We are heading into the end of June, which marks the midway of the year. So make sure you've got your taxes in order. Make sure you know how much money you've made. Make sure your buys and sells are out there. Blah, 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 blah. Want to know why I'm wearing a green shirt today? It's because World War III has literally been on, then off, and back on again. And we're still green. We're still green. I'm going to go over a lot today. I almost had nothing to talk about today, but I did get an email on Instagram, and I do have a lot of scammers out there who are impersonating me on Instagram, so make sure you go to Linktree. And this is the only Instagram I will have. All of the socials are up there, so go over there and follow it. But I will tell you, I had somebody message me, and I won't mention their name, but he says, hey, I've got TrendSpider and I signed up for the Seeking Alpha free 7-day trial and I'm really liking it. Which one would you keep? And it's Sophie's choice. I mean, here's the thing. These two are totally different. And today I'm going to go over a little bit more TrendSpider because like I told this particular person, I use these two things for two separate kind of looks, and I can't live without either one of them. So TrendSpider is a technical story. We're going to go over, I've got a bunch of scans for you, a bunch of stocks and a bunch of strategies to go over, but that's what I use it for. And so if I'm in the mood to find something to actually invest in and look at, that's what I'm going to look at. So, you know, if I want to find a stock to invest in that I'm not used to looking at it, I'm going to go over here to top stocks on Seeking Alpha and I'm going to look, okay, Sezzle, that's new. I don't even know what this one is, but they have a market cap of 4.83 billion. They're in financials, transaction and processing, and year to date, this one's up 240%. Did it just get to strong buy? No, at 133. Where's it trading right now? 144. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? 116. Is this worth a buy? Not to me right now, but I'd have to read this analyze with AI report. And then maybe it turns into a buy. That's how I use Seeking Alpha. You know, to find things that I don't know, to track stuff. I track my portfolio, but that's how I use Seeking Alpha. So they're just two different things. If I want a quick one, I'll just go to QQQ, to TrendSpider and look at this stuff. So I got a bunch of scans for you. We're going to go over a strategy with HIMS and Tesla. Why cybersecurity is so important. Does PE even matter? UNH has a buyout offer for $325. That's 10% up from where you are now. Does it make sense? We're going to go over a Zeta. It was up 20% yesterday. What's the big mover today? It's called Nanolabs. We'll look at it. And scans, there are just too many scans in this bullish market that show up in my 4-hour algorithm that I'm going to go over a select few, but I'll put them in the newsletter. And the first thing I want to tell you about is that TrendSpider, you will see a bunch of TrendSpider stuff. I am giving away 1 year of TrendSpider. Okay, all you have to do is subscribe to the newsletter, the free portion. You don't need to pay for the paid portion. There are paid portions up here. If you want to support the podcast, get the paid. You can read all these paid, the past ones. You can get the education. Plus, if you're annoyed by the commercials on Spotify and stuff, this is commercial free. So the videos on Substack are commercial free. So remember, not only are you getting the newsletter, which Damon yesterday mentioned, hey, I love reading the newsletter while listening to your podcast. It's like a cheat code. That was what he said. Not only do you get that, you get commercial free and you get all the education stuff. So you want to know how to trade, do that. So I was sitting here this morning and I was looking at my notes and I don't have much. We're in a bull market, you know, and most of these, you know, if you wanted to actually buy these, April was the time to buy. I loaded in April. I still have a bunch of cash on the sidelines. I'm still about 85% invested, but that's low for me. And I missed it. And so did most of Wall Street. So I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, what am I going to talk about? What stocks am I going to look at? Well, one of the things that I wanted to look at was relative performance. It's simple. It's a number between a 0 and 100. It equals percentage of stocks in a given universe which have their performance worse than the current ticker's performance. So it matches the S&P and it says, okay, what are stocks that are underperforming the S&P? And then I said, okay, let me look at those and look at which ones actually have a 4-hour algorithm entry. Well, Lululemon is one. And I was reading about teenagers who use Lululemon as a status. So social arbitrage. Maybe Lulu deserves a comeback. Maybe it's just under its 200 day. It started turning a little bit. The RSI on the weekly is at 34. It's oversold. Its MACD is below the oscillator. Maybe it will come back. Is it one that you want to look at? Well, let's look at Seeking Alpha. Because Seeking Alpha says, well, it's a little bit stretched in its valuation. The growth isn't there. You know, their revenue growth is great, but it's a D+. Then you got profitability at A, momentum at D because it hasn't been performing well. And Wall Street analysts are taking their estimates down. And so you go over here to analyze with AI and you look at some of their competitors, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour. I'm wearing an Under Armour shirt. That's where I shop. Then you go to the quant ratings and you say, well, the valuation is challenged. Its price to sales ratio is 2.6, which is significantly higher than the sector at 0.89. The growth is mixed. While its revenue growth of 9% year over year is strong compared to the sector at 2%, other growth metrics like operating cash flow a decline of 15%. Then you can look at the positive raised by analysts and the concerns raised by analysts. And that's how you use these. So maybe Lulu's not in your realm. But again, let's go over. And one of the other ones that showed up is PDD, Pinduoduo. Okay? You have an earnings. This is Temu. I believe this is Temu. But this might have a nice bounce as we enter toward the July 9th Chinese tariff agreements. If tariffs are off the table, maybe this one has a nice China bounce in it. Now, weekly, you've just been hovering around the oscillator. Your RSI is at 45, 149. You know, when 149, that may not seem that far away. It's 50 freaking % away. So let's go over and let's look at Pinduoduo in Seeking Alpha. And the hold, the quant has it as a hold. How long has it had it as a hold? Let's go over and let's look. The hold, the security is traded for less than 1 year. I don't know. I guess it messed up a little bit. But again, Wall Street, we currently have no Wall Street ratings on this stock. No, that can't be. Hold on. Something's messed up here. But Pinduoduo, it's a hold in the quant. It's a Wall Street buy. Let's see, analyze with AI. There we go. Let's see. It's a valuation stretched. Valuation reflects a mixed ratio. PE at 10. It's more affordable than the sector at 19. Growth exhibits strong growth with a forward revenue growth of 27%. Profitability, fantastic. Momentum is where it sucks. The momentum is where it sucks. And if you go and look at the momentum, let's see. It's still pulling that up. Yeah, they messed up a little bit. It's a little bit messed up. Maybe I have to log out and log back in. Let's sign out and let's sign back in on this one because I do like Seeking Alpha. Let's see. Pinduoduo. Nah, it's still doing it. Does that? This is the first time I'm running into that. But Pinduoduo, go look at it later. I'm sure it's going to fix up. So if you want this relative performance, here's the scanner. You can log into TrendSpider and import it yourself. That's it. Then I said, you know what? 2 stocks that I kind of looked at. That's not enough. Let me go and look. So I found an old scan that I used to do, which is engulfing candlestick. Want to know what that is? Bullish engulfing pattern occurs when a candlestick, irrespective of its side, is followed by a larger candlestick that fully engulfs the prior one. The green or white engulfing candle, you can read all about it, but it's bullish. So I said, you know what? Let me do a scan for everybody. Let me look at these. I found a couple. Let's look at a few in the core portfolio. XLK. XLK got you in at 199. You are at all-time highs. Would I be buying there? Probably not. But We're in a bull market. So XLK, maybe you want a strategy around that one. Uber, engulfing candle. 4-hour algorithm has you out. 4-hour doesn't work real well. I think this one, again, Uber just started their partnership with Google and Waymo here in Atlanta, where I can order a Waymo through Uber. Pretty good. Roblox. This is one that I was saying before. This was a $40 stock. It's at $103 right now. In April, you could have bought this at $55. The actual evaluation makes no sense to me. It's in the core portfolio. But again, it's got an engulfing candle. Pretty good. That's bullish. Shopify. I had said, hey, on the weekly, I want to look at this one as it gets back towards this trend. And it's on that trend line. MACD down at the oscillator, RSI at 55, bullish engulfing candle. Maybe you want it. Import that scan into your trend spider. Then I said, this chats thing. This is an indicator. Who is Tushar Chande? Chats, understanding chats, implementing chats on the charts, customizing chats, levering chats across trend spider, pros and cons of the chats, the bottom line. But again, I found this thing and I did a scan. And I did a scan in the Nasdaq 100. And so you can import this. I found a couple. I found Electronic Arts. Well, this one, 4-hour algorithm just got you in at 146. 146, you're trading at 154, right? Look, it's just starting to break out of that range. EA might be one that you want to look at. Let's see EA right here. The Quan has it as a hold. Maybe it's, the valuation a bit stretched, 24. Go and read that one. Well, another one, TXN, Texas Instruments. This is a semiconductor stock. This is a part of the AI theme. Again, support at 188. Where'd that 188 come from? Well, look, that's the 2021 highs. Maybe that's where it's breaking out of now. ASML. This is a stock that is buying back and retiring their stock. That's how Apple has done theirs. Well, this is on a rebound. 4-hour algorithm just got you out with a 13% gain. Where'd the 875 come from? That's the 2021 highs. Will it get back up there? The indicators indicate that we're in a bullish trend. And finally, Mondelez. And these are stocks that I don't normally bring up, but I could trade. And again, if you find a strategy that you like in TrendSpider with a scanner, you can do this. And it's very, very simple. And so that's import it. Chats at 70, the flips. When stocks have flipped to bullish in the chats indicator. And scan any list that you want. But again, when somebody asked me, what do I use? Should I get TrendSpider or Seeking Alpha? It's two different things. And one of the things I love about Seeking Alpha is there's no pop-ups. There's nothing. I mean, I can read news stories like this. So let's go over what happened. Stock index futures pair some gains, oil down after Israel-Iran ceasefire seems to falter. So let's go over the story here. Iran fired missiles at the U.S. base yesterday. Market didn't blink. Oil went down by 6%. Okay? Oil went down. And I said it yesterday. SCO, I said, look at a 5-minute chart. And SCO was at $14. Okay? They fired missiles. And the market said, you know what? Those missiles ain't going to hit. They're douchey missiles, and they let the U.S. know that the missiles were there. Yeah, this is the end of the conflict. Oil went down by 6%. So SCO, which is the inverse, ultra short, went up. UCO went down. And then what happened last night? Trump went into full profit mode. Full, I am the prophet, I am bringing peace, blah, 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 the whole thing. If you were writing a presidential movie where the president is accused of going to an island with a pedophile, having a public fight with a billionaire, sparring with Congress over spending in a bill that increases the deficit, attempting to fire the Fed president, and having to roll back a failed tariff objective, what would you do? I would write that you would start a war. And then this morning, shit starts up again. You know, he attempted to say, hey, there's all peace. Shit starts up again. Remember, Truth Social is not a peace treaty that is signed. One thing that won't be reported, and I want to bring this up again, I think oil prices continue down. Now, the 4-hour algorithm doesn't do well with decaying assets like this, but the 4-hour algorithm just got you in to SCO at 1657. You are trading at 1726. It's up 4%. Could you continue to go up? Absolutely, you can continue to go up. Find a strategy that works. And one strategy that I want to point out is that Iran is very good at cyber attacks. Very good. One of the leading states of cyber attacks. That doesn't get reported. Okay? There are plenty of cyber stocks out there. 4-hour algorithm got you into PANW, which I own at 192. And I said it when it was down here at 169. This is a $200 stock. Nobody is cutting their cybersecurity. Okay, go and read all about it down there in Seeking Alpha. Here's a list. Futurum is Shai Bular's new venture, and he's one of, I think, 4 or 5 people. You can get a free ranking of these if you just sign up at their website. But let's just go over these because these are great companies. Okay, CrowdStrike. I have said before, CrowdStrike, I sold half and I rebought it because this one will grow. It's a $500 stock. You're at $491 right now. Do you want to buy it? It's expensive, but they will absolutely grow into that valuation. I believe in this stock. I bought a bunch. I have a full position in this one. Its valuation is crazy. Now, why is this doing this like this? I think it's Chrome. I don't know. I think it might be something that probably my login. Yeah, it's doing this. But again, CrowdStrike, it's incredibly expensive. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? Just confirmed. It's the platform. It's Seeking Alpha. It is what it is. But we'll continue on. You can always look at this. First time it's always happened. But again, these stocks, CrowdStrike, I own. PANW, I own. Zscaler, I don't own. Do I want to own Zscaler? Well, let's take a look. Is this one that I want to buy? Again, I'm heavy into cybersecurity. You had the chance to buy it at 195, April 9th, the 4-hour algorithm. Got you in there. Bunch of gaps up. Is this one up high? Well, the all-time high back in 2021 was 360. It's trading at 310. Maybe not that bad. Again, it's going to be expensive. All of these stocks are expensive. Okay, Net, Cloudflare, great company. They have one of the best platforms out there that is needed. And I just asked some IT folks about that. Go and ask your IT folks at your company. If they do cybersecurity, hey, is Cloudflare buy? 4-hour algorithm got you in. You can see right here, that was the trend line. That was the support line. That's it. And it's double topped around 170. You're trading at 183. But again, Iran, I think with this ceasefire, you're going to start seeing stuff like this. Now, Rubrik, Octa is part of the Alpha Picks, Fortinet, Fortify. This is Fortinet, not Fortify. Probably autocorrect. Autonomous Threat, Sentinel. Sentinel is dipped. Sentinel might be a buy the dip opportunity. Again, it's cybersecurity. It's older cybersecurity. So they're having some problems. Let's see if the quant works on this one. Factor grades. There we go. We got this one. So you can see year to date, Sentinel's down 21%. Well, its valuation is stretched. Again, the PE going forward is 88. We can look at analyze with AI and we can say, you know what? Let's look. Valuation shows challenging with price to earnings ratio of 89, significantly higher than the sector at 23. Price to sales ratio of 7 also exceeds the sector at 3. Growth, robust. Forward revenue growth of 25%, significantly above the sector at 7%. Profitability, gross margin profit, 75%. The sector's at 50. Momentum, that's challenging. And that's the number one thing in a stock is the momentum. It can be taken down even as a good stock. So go and look at those. I think there are good opportunities in there. Now, one of the biggest things is July 9th. There's a tariff hurdle. Okay. Remember, I think July 30th is the Fed meeting or the Fed decision. July 9th comes before that Fed decision. We've got a bunch of Fed governors out there who are saying, hey, maybe it's time to look at cutting. Well, July 9th comes first. And July 9th is when these tariffs start to get back in the news. And I think you're going to see him just appease the markets and do that. So what do you want to do with all of this tariff stuff kind of hanging around and stuff? I would argue, look at QQQ. Because we've seen tech outperform on this rebound. And QQQ is getting to what I call a button hook up here where it's starting to lose a little bit of its direction. You can see there are some gaps down below here. Okay. But the MACD's resetting. This might just mean that you go sideways for a little while these indicators reset because the RSI is at 55. But what I want to show you is last year, I told the audience, I said, you know what? I'm going to trust this seasonality thing because July is the number one for the last 15 years. This goes back to 2010. July is the number one month. What this graph tells you is 93% of the time over those 15 years, it's positive. And its mean change was 4.21%. So here's an idea for you. And this is a strategy. Why not go with TQQQ? Okay, and yes, we're looking forward because what you want to do is you want to buy in June for July. I am not saying that July is going to be gangbusters going up. We have had a great April, May, and June so far. But you want to take a look at this. And when I look at TQQ, which is a triple levered daily ETF on the Qs, it has the same thing. But the mean change is 12% and not just 6%. So it's, again, a better option. If you believe in this. And last year, what I told people was, hey, going into June, you want to buy into this. So what happened June 20th? We're 24th right now. You saw a little dip. And I said, you know what? I want to buy at the end of June for July. And so here, July 28th, around 74, I looked, I bought. And then as we started to lose confirmation around the 80s, I sold, okay? SQQ was the play. So it's not always 100%. I didn't go into SQQ last year in June and July, okay? But it was a good idea because here, July 12th, $38, nice 16% gain. So that's a strategy. Would I put my entire portfolio on that? No. You want to know how I do this? I go to Webull and you can sign up for Webull right here on Linktree. And I have a separate account that started out with $1,000. And now that account is at $12,000. I don't do this in my large account. I don't risk my big money. I do this as fun. That's the strategy that I have, but it makes you real money. And so there's a strategy for you. Again, try it out. And I use the tools that I have. TrendSpider with the seasonality and the charts. It is a trade. It is not an investment. Now, investments, I typically like to look at PE. But does PE even matter? Because look at these, the trailing 12 months PE ratio on the left versus the 5-year future earnings per share growth estimate. As you get up into this, okay, these companies, stocks below this line, are considered undervalued. New, UBS, Pinterest, Capital One, Stellantis, Taiwan Semi is close to that line. This is a nice chart. So if PE matters, maybe this should be your strategy. One that's interesting to me right now is Micron, because the PE makes no sense whatsoever. But Micron, you can see the rebound that we've seen from 69 to 120. Okay, right now it's trading at 125, and you have earnings on Thursday this week. And this is of interest to me because I also think it's got great social sentiment and it's a strong buy in the quant. Now, year to date, you're up 45%. 45%. Its 52-week high is 144. The quant rating is strong buy. Again, strong buy. So I like this one. It just seems interesting to me. You know, another one that I kind of like, HIMS fought back yesterday, and they put out a statement that said that Novo Nordisk was basically forcing patients into Wegovy. They said they were trying to steer patients. Now, HIMS is basically just a marketing franchise and a compounding pharmacy, and now it's at $41.98. I will tell you, I have a price that I want to pay on this one. It is not following this 4-hour algorithm, but the 4-hour algorithm got you out with a loss yesterday, got you in at 56, got you out with a loss. It wins 38% of the time. I will be buying this one. Now, I won't be buying this one with HIMS because it's a trade, and I want to do this as a leverage trade. So what am I going to do? I am going to use HIMZ. It's double leveraged long because I don't want to hold this for a very long time. Because we can see on HIMS, by the way, there is a clear $60 top right there. And so if you buy at 40, I think you get back to 60. When? I don't know. But this is a shorted stock, a hugely shorted stock. Okay? HIMS is shorted, 28% short interest. Year to date, it's up 73%. You're right in the middle of your 52-week range right here at 41. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. I'm just going to wait and be patient, but I'm going to play the double leveraged. So I have an alert and trend spider to try and buy that one. Okay? And that's what it is. The chart is literally showing you at the 200 day, on the daily, when to buy. And would it be a gift? Boy, the 200 day is down here at 33. Yes, it would be a gift. Absolutely, it would be a gift. Because I think with that short interest, you pop back up. Now, another gift is United Healthcare. They just had an offer for $325 a share. You are trading at $300 a share. Okay, it's a mini tender offer. They're only going to buy 125,000 shares. So all they have to do is get somebody who has $125,000 to agree to sell them at $325. It's a 10% upside. But the management is saying, hey, you should reject this offer. It comes with some stipulations. The offer is valid through June 23rd at 5 p.m. unless extended or terminated. I haven't looked. But that tells you, hey, somebody thinks this is worth $325. Is it the valuation? Valuation's cheap compared historically. I mean, let's go and chart the PE. Select symbols. We'll just select UNH and we'll select metrics and we'll go to valuation and we'll just go to PE right there. We don't want price return. We just want this. And let's go to a 3-year. I mean, we've shown this before. Let's go to a 5-year. It's as cheap as it's ever been at $300. Now, their growth, 8%. It's not great. It's not great. You can read all the analyze with AI, but their profitability, fantastic. Remember how insurance companies make money. They actually deny claims. Okay, this is managed healthcare. It's ranked 8 out of 10. CNC, Centene Corporation, is the number one. This one is down 11% year to date. But it's got better metrics than United Health. But again, if you can get that 325, that's great. One that I was looking at, HubSpot. Breeze AI agent offering provides path for incremental growth. From Bank of America. They're saying, hey, there's future growth in this. Bank of America maintains a buy rating for HubSpot of $740. It's currently trading at $540. That's a huge, huge upside. Huge upside. Year to date, down 23%. Again, that's 40% higher than where it is today. Like other software, this could be vulnerable to AI, but I like it. Now, when you look at the 52-week range, you're down at the bottom here. Maybe this one pops back up. When you look at the profitability, 84% gross profit margin, that's great. I like it. So again, HubSpot, it might be a good one. Let's see if we've got a strategy in TrendSpider that works. Let's look at the 4-hour algorithm. Well, it makes you 18% over the last 24 months, 26 positions. I'd take that because buying and holding makes you 3.9. So if that's one that tickles your fancy, set an alert. Set a price alert on the entry in the 4-hour algorithm. Maybe it works out. And again, one of the things that I'm going to show you that I'm going to do for the paid subscribers after this, you're going to get a bonus podcast today, is Tesla. There's a clear strategy with Tesla, a clear strategy. Robotaxis violate traffic laws, spark federal scrutiny. Remember, the feds can't do anything until something is launched. So they can't prohibit Tesla from actually launching it, but they can do an investigation once it's launched. There is a clear strategy. I'll be doing a short bonus podcast about it today with Tesla. It will be hypothetical and it revolves around a timeline and things of that sort. It's no real secret. I am no prophet. I am just trying to give somebody an idea about how to trade Tesla on some of these things. Now, I talked about yesterday, the new retail darling is Zeta, Z-E-T-A. This was up 20% yesterday. It's up 7% today. That's the new retail darling. Remember, Oscar was the last week's retail darling. Look at how that went. That one shot up. It's now recovering a little bit. You got a gap down here to about 19. If it dips under 20, might be an opportunity for you. 4-hour algorithm makes you 101% versus 110% buy and hold. So it's not like, buying and holding makes you a ton more money. Your average win with 4-hour algorithm is 30%. But there's a new one today. Okay? There's a new one that's flying up. Nano Labs, NA. NA is the symbol. Okay? This isn't covered by the quant. This is something that you're going to have to research on your own. But it unveiled a $1 billion BNB acquisition plan, $500 million notes deal. I have no idea what that means. You can load it into Perplexity and ask it what it means. But let's just look at NA and how you might trade this one, because this is part of the education section in the newsletter, and it's called Confirmation. Okay, and we'll turn on after hours right here. Let me just turn on after hours, not the settings, right there. Okay, so how would you trade this? Well, yesterday, this morning at 6:45 a.m., if you were up, you could have set an alert for stocks that pop 5% or more in a 5-minute candle. Okay, that's how you find these things. Write it for yourself in TrendSpider. Write it in whatever platform you have. Okay, find stocks that pop. And then you buy it here once you have confirmation. Okay, you would have gotten this alert $6.50 because it was up so much. Bought it at 17. The average price closed at 17.67. Okay, ride it. Then this candle at 8 o'clock. If you saw it dip down to 17 again, sell it. Take the profits. then you can buy it back in. This one is from 16 all the way up to 28. So you can trade it on a 1 minute candle. You can trade it on a 5 minute candle. It's very, very simple. That's what's called momentum trading. And momentum trading is very easy as long as you have moving average and you have a chart. But today's big one is NA. It makes no sense. This is a company with $185 million, not billion, $185 million market cap. There are Dick's Sporting Goods locations that triple that amount of market cap. Not Dick's Sporting, just one location. So it's super, super small volume, 9 million shares. You're going to see a ton of activity on this, okay? And that's how you can trade it. Now let's talk about some of the scans in the 4-hour algorithm in the core portfolio. Again, these are stocks in the daily newsletter. I will put them. But Costco is one, 997. Microsoft is one, okay? Microsoft's at all-time highs. Is it going for another bullish run? Well, when you look at the weekly, it's just breaking out of this range. Could go. PANW, Palo Alto Networks. We talked about this one. I own this one. You had an entry here at 192. It's telling you, hey, it might be going for another run. Look at that 188. What was that? That was resistance. Can we get back to these all-time highs above 200? It goes to 208, 209, somewhere in that neighborhood. You're trading at 204. Do I want to buy it here? Probably not. But once it breaks, it could break out. I am buy and hold on this one. I just add to it when it dips under that 188. And I've been doing that for ever since this February 2024. It hasn't worked out completely for me. But I haven't trimmed it. I think I did trim this one once, around this stock split, if I'm not mistaken, I did trim it. But again, it's just one that I buy and hold. Another one that's interesting, when I scanned the Dow, there were like 10 of the 30 Dow stocks that popped up. This is 3M. Now, this is interesting because in the 4-hour algorithm, okay, you had a buy here in, here in February. You had this 3M. What double since February? New management in the 4-hour outperforms. Yeah, 4-hour algorithm absolutely does outperform. So you had this February where the market was hitting all new highs in February. This was right around here. It just returned to its path. So again, 3M. The 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 106% versus 68% if you buy and hold. You win 52% of the time, and it's telling you get in at 142. Is this one that you want? Well, let's look. Let's see if Seeking Alpha messes up again. No, it doesn't mess up. Its valuation stretched. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? They think it's worth 151, 2% upside. 52 weeks, 156. Do you want to buy in at this one? Maybe not. Maybe you can find another one. Conglomerates. BBU. Maybe this is one that you want. It's a strong buy in the quant, $5 billion market cap. Okay. Year to date, this one's up 11%. You're up near its 52-week range. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? They think it's worth $30, which is 16% upside. Maybe that's one you want. Now, SHW, which is interesting. This is Sherwin-Williams. SHW. While the market was floundering here in February, it didn't go down that much. But you've got a stock that is just kind of sitting there sideways while all of these reset. Okay, if you get a housing recovery, Sherwin-Williams is one that will take off. Look at how it did during the pandemic. And then during this time when people were buying new houses and they just weren't renovating their stuff because, again, you were in a bear market. It didn't do anything. You could have bought this at 221 in March of 2023. It's at 343. It's a decent stock. It's not crazy. Now you have some leveraged ETFs, one that I like and one that I told in January that I thought this was one that you could absolutely buy in January was this one, DPST. It's at $79. It's trading at 81. Now, I would trade this on the 4-hour algorithm. The 4-hour algorithm works on this one. This is a triple leveraged ETF, but I said, hey, there's deregulation in regional banks. I think it's going to soar. It's back to where it was in January. The 4-hour algorithm, it has you in today at 77%. You win 100%, your performance. You make 100% in the last 2 years. If you bought and held this, you made 15%, 14.7. Your average win, 25%. You can see in April, it just got you out with a 44% gain. You had a couple of losses here, but it's trading sideways. Again, this is a decaying asset. It's not something you want to buy and hold. But I did say, with all the deregulation in regional banks, I thought this was a decent enough bet that you could buy it in January, and by the end of the year, you'd probably make money. But the strategy works better, okay? Over the last 24 months, 26 positions. So you're trading about once a month, and you have 100% gain versus 14% buy and hold. Your average win is 25%. Again, it's the 4-hour algorithm. It's about finding strategies. And now, if you want any of these tools, again, I spared you from the tools until the end. Go to Linktree, okay? TrendSpider. If you sign up for an annual plan, you get my 4-hour algorithm. You get all of the scans that I include, all of the watch list that I have, everything. $50 a month. Okay? Then the second link is this premium portion, okay? This is Seeking Alpha Premium, and it's the bundle. It includes both Seeking Alpha Premium and Alpha Picks. I will go over them one by one, but this deal is only until July 4th, okay? You save $160 off. Now, what is Seeking Alpha Premium? Well, you can get it on this fourth link right below the bundle. You can get Seeking Alpha Premium with a free 7-day trial because maybe you don't want Alpha Picks. We'll go over this. This includes AI-powered virtual analyst report, includes custom stock and ETF screeners, includes the quant rating, which we saw kind of messes up sometimes, but you'll have it there. It's just glitching a little bit. Unlimited premium content. Dive into all of this, all of the analyst reports. Okay, and you get the top 2025 and top second half 2025 stocks, which are up. And then the second part of the bundle is Alpha Picks. This is very simple, okay? Normally you save just $50 off this. This is $100 off of this. So if you want just Alpha Picks, which is very easy, it's this fourth link, okay? And Alpha Picks is a data-driven portfolio that beats the S&P nearly 3 times since its inception. You can see 57% versus 162%. You get a stock on the 1st and the 15th of each month, and you get sell signals, and you get multiple per week articles on the portfolio, on certain happenings in the portfolio. You get it. They teach you how to manage a portfolio. The performance has significantly outbeaten the S&P 500. So those are your options. That's everything that I sell. There are other things on Linktree, like Webull, like I mentioned. You can get Robinhood as well. You can get your phone service, Visible Phone Service, which is the phone service that I use. You can buy a Tesla. You can follow my trades on Savvy Trader. All of the socials are there. If you make money and you don't want to support the podcast, but you want to say thank you, there's Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. Any one of the 3. I accept money because I put a lot of time into this. So again, sorry about the confusion on Seeking Alpha. I hope it's not glitching later today, but it's abnormal. It's usually 99.9999% of the time. It's fantastic. So if you have any questions, hit me up. My email address is up here. Again, all the socials are up here. You can just simply subscribe to the newsletter. And you can just hit reply if you want. Honest to God, you can just hit reply. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Good luck. Let's hope World War III doesn't continue. Okay, take care. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.